Hi guys, as you can see, this isn't the truth or dare video that I had promised you. This is something that I feel is more important, and this is my coming out story. And I thought I'd let it out, so if it was actually gonna help somebody, then it could. So yeah, I might go a little bit blank because I've tried to delete painful memories from my head. Not like abusive painful memories, but embarrassing painful memories. So I came out when I was 11 and in year 8, I think, which is really young. It's like shorter than the shortest people in my class, in my school even. So yeah. And I came out to somebody I really didn't like, and I literally just went, I'm gay. I don't even think we were having a conversation before. I generally think we were sat in silence and then I went, I'm gay. I don't know. And then naturally it went round the school because this person didn't like me either. And guys kept on asking me who I fancied at the time. I will move on to who I actually did fancy, but first, I told everyone, really, I don't even know why I told everyone. It didn't help my situation, I just thought it would. That I fancied this guy called Taylor, and he was really popular, top of the school, with really good... He was just really popular. He got on well with like everybody, and I told people I fancied him at first. Of course, it came out at the end that I didn't actually fancy him. But yeah, the person my first crush, who was a guy, was a guy called Flynn, and I don't know why, he was one of my best friends at the time, and I think it was literally just because he was the only person around when I got ditched by all my other friends. In middle school, I had a lot of falling out with my friends. Like, every week something would happen. It was just really dramatic. And everybody found out it was him. I can't remember how. I think I must have told Flynn. I actually think I told Flynn first. And that kind of ruined the friendship we had. I remember when we were little, we used to collect little match attacks, and then somebody stole my folder and ran off with it. Same girl who also pushed me down a set of stairs on my first day, and we're really good friends now, so stuff happens, you know. I'm gonna move on a little bit because everything just gets really boring, and I complain a lot to my head of year, and nothing actually happens. So I'm skipping to, should we say Purbeck? Right. It wasn't until I reached Purbeck that I realised I was known in Purbeck, the whole of Purbeck, for being the gay kid in Swanage. I wasn't sure whether to take it as an achievement or... but sure enough, everybody knew who I was, and I didn't know who anybody was, and it was all really, really scary. I don't know, a lot of drama, a lot of crying, and it's also where I had my first year in Purbeck, which is year 9, is where I had my first kiss with a guy, and I wasn't sure about it at the time. I kind of hated him for a while. I don't know. That's when I figured that it was real and that I wasn't gonna get married to a girl. I wasn't gonna have another relationship with a girl. And it scared me, like, really a lot. Like, I couldn't deal with it, so I treated this guy like an ass, spreaded shit around school about him, and I was a really horrible person to him, and if I could go back and stop myself from doing it, I would, because it got me nowhere. Yeah. Luckily, I had friends who quite happily would talk sense into me, and they just told me I was being stupid, to be honest. And I was like, obviously I didn't take that with welcome arms, but yeah. And finally, not finally, because I'm going to leave the last bit to last, obviously. And I'm going to move on to Yorkshire now, and I was dreading coming to Yorkshire and coming out as gay. I had planned for nights before I joined the school I'm at now, and what I was going to do was not tell anyone unless they asked. Specifically asked. Though, by my luck, this girl called Megan came up to me on my first lunchtime on my first day, where I felt like crying the whole day. Came up to me and went, "Are you gay?" And I was just like, well, fuck. What am I supposed to do? But I kept the promise to myself, and I said yes. And sure enough, I get a little bit of hate. But then there are a lot of people there who just don't care. So what I try to go by is, what are 10 people to 100 and 1,250? 10 people out of 1,250 who actually dislike me because I'm gay isn't a bad result, to be honest. So, yeah. Everybody's really supportive and nobody cares. I think that's the way it should be. And I think it's also because everybody else is too busy with their own dramas in life to actually care. Like, I know that makes me sound really attention seeking, but it's not. Like, it's a good thing because people can relate to you more, even if it's not on such a dramatic thing as I'm gay, hey, I am too. It's not that dramatic, but I like to think that people in Yorkshire are really decent about it. And they are. I mean, I have a lot of friends who generally couldn't care less. Like, and those are the friends that I really want to keep. And if you're watching it right now and thinking it might be you, then it definitely is you. Okay, so thank you. And on to the bit that everybody wants to know, because I get this question asked me about 4 times a week. Terry, what were your parents like when you came out gay? Well, I'm gonna let you into a little secret. At first, I didn't come out as gay. I came out as bi. And I told people that I still fancy girls, because I fancied this girl called Laura Hasten. And Laura, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But yeah, and she was really popular. What was it with the popular people, like, generally? And yeah, and then I came out as gay, and when I was coming out as gay, I wasn't too worried about coming out to my dad, and I was terrified of coming out to my mum. But my mum accepted it, and I was just like, oh, thank Jesus. And that's how it is. I mean, I didn't particularly have it hard. Like, you hear stories about gay kids getting beaten up because they're gay, and that's never happened to me. And I'm really, really lucky, because there are some horrible people out there, and I feel so privileged to meet the people that I hang with now, because I think people realise now, that people are starting to realise now, that we're all human, and it doesn't matter, because we're all different anyway. We all support different religions. We all have, well, we don't all have different sexualities, but a lot of us have different sexualities. People listen to different types of music. People read. People don't. We live in an era now where people are starting to be okay with who you are. So my advice to anybody watching this video and planning to come out is, don't be ashamed to be who you are, because even if you do go through the bad stuff, if you go through all the stuff that I never went through, it will still be worth it at the end of it. And if you do go through all that stuff, it will get better. I know so many people who were gay and had it hard coming out of the closet, and I know a couple of people who've killed themselves because of it. And sometimes I wish that if I just spent a little time listening to them and sat down and actually talked to them, then maybe I could have made the difference between life or death. So I hope to anybody who's watching this looking for advice, I hope that you realise that you're not alone, and that there will always even if it's just a freaky person like me on the other end of a screen, there will always be somebody who's willing to talk to you. And you are never, ever alone. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And I will update you guys soon, okay? Thanks. Bye.